Welcome to the AnyGames.ie podcast, the home of five-a-side, grassroots and amateur football in Ireland. Our goal is to build a community, connecting people in Ireland through football, discussing the latest news and developments across the country and interviewing the people behind local clubs and organisations, with some Premier League talk in there too. You can catch all our episodes on Spotify and YouTube, get involved in a community on AnyGames.ie and find us on social media through Facebook, Instagram and X. If you like what you hear, follow us, give us a like and get involved in the comments. Now, let's get into this week's episode. Hello and welcome to episode 18 of the AnyGames.ie podcast with me, Gav.
And me, Dave.
And we were supposed to have a guest this evening, but unfortunately life gets in the way, as it does sometimes.
People have commitments and such.
I love the commitments.
Good movie.
What a movie. I was going to say what a show, it's not a show, it's a movie. I was only watching that over the Christmas.
Oh yeah, actually I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's great. That is great.
But that interview we're going to have to reschedule. We'll get that organised again in a couple of weeks' time.
And we definitely will. And the person's keen to do it as well, so
yeah,
it will happen.
We'll get that organised. But how was your weekend, Dave?
Yeah, I got a very good weekend. Especially with us being out in Kildonan Park on Sunday.
Yeah, so we covered the LFA Cup tie between Finglas and Bray Wanderers. If you haven't seen any of our coverage, it's over there on YouTube there at the moment. Dave, with all his handy editing skills, has put a bit of a compilation video there for you to check out. So if you're over that way, give us a like, share, hit the notification bell.
And drop into the comments as well. Drop into the comments. It does help. If you are enjoying it, it does help the podcast. It helps the YouTube channel grow and stuff like that when the algorithm picks you up when you get the comments and stuff like that, you know. So yeah.
But for the second week in a row, our socials have been doing very well because of the coverage of these games. So
yeah,
although it's up until now, it's kind of been a bit Finglas United heavy. I am associated with the club and they've been more than accommodating, particularly over the weekend with manager John McLaren. He took the time out to speak to us before and after that match and gave a really good, honest account. And
he did actually, yeah. When I was watching it back and during the editing and stuff like that, I actually did. Like when you're sitting there recording, when you're standing there recording him talk to us, you know, you're kind of focusing on making sure everything's okay there. But when you actually listen back to it, and it was like, yeah, very honest and open.
Yeah, and you can tell he's a man who's obsessed and passionate, and it came across really well. So
definitely comes across.
John, if you listen to this, thanks again for giving us the time, and we're hoping to get back out to Kildonan Park tomorrow evening. So it's Thursday as we record this. This will come out tomorrow morning, which is the Friday. So Friday evening in Kildonan Park, the Valley are playing Rivermount in a Finglas derby in the quarterfinals of the Cup. So we're hoping again to be up there and to cover that, and again speak to both sides of the camp before and after the game. So we're kind of going off the basis of the stuff that we're putting up on social media is getting a lot of interaction. So we're taking that's it's sort of being well received. Well, so we're kind of, I suppose, doubling down.
We're kind of coming at it from two different ways. We're continuing with this podcast, and you'll have your episode every Friday, barring, you know, the odd week where something happens and we're not around or whatever. But we want to sort of come at the YouTube angle as well with these videos and getting out to clubs and getting FaceTime with people at clubs and talking to people on the YouTube channel and covering the games like we did in the Finglas and Bray video. You know, that's definitely, I suppose it was something we had in mind to do with this platform and anyway, but I think it's starting to happen a little bit quicker than we had maybe thought.
Yeah, so like we said, the week before last we covered Finglas and Bows, and we had just put up the celebrations. Now obviously that was a dramatic game and finished with a 93rd minute winner and everything else, and the reaction on social media across all the platforms was phenomenal. It was nothing we'd seen before from the channel's perspective, and we went and we doubled down and expanded on that last week with the addition of the pre and post match interviews and the additional bit of footage, the video, and Dave worked his magic and put a compilation video there to get it up on YouTube as well. So again, it's gone down well. So we're going to sort of continue in that vein of form. Just on that, Dave, with the bit of presenting and stuff we did, how did you find that?
I'd be lying if I saying I wasn't nervous about, like, standing in front of the camera with a microphone and saying, like, even though we didn't really speak for that long pitchside, it was still like the few seconds I done at halftime felt like I was standing there for an hour, because it's like,
It's just the unknown, isn't it?
yeah. You just,
It's one of those things, and I refer back to the first episode that we did. Not that there was a nervousness there, but it was like we hadn't done it before,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I spoke about it earlier, but we were very self-critical, kind of looking at it going, we can improve here, we can improve there, nearly too much to where we were kind of over editing, and
well,
it didn't.
I definitely over edited that first episode, I remember, and I did it for the first couple of weeks. I was over editing.
Yeah,
I was listening for every little every little, like, or an and a ra or a or a, or an a, and when you after a few weeks of doing this, I started to realize they're just natural parts of conversation that people have.
yeah,
And I think you kind of take that element out of it if you over edit something. You
yeah,
know,
and then we have to remind ourselves as well, we're not working for RTE here,
no,
but by all accounts, from the feedback that we've gotten across socials, it's gone down very well. So, as I said, that we're going to continue on that and continue to improve,
yeah,
and continue to expand on that as well. Like, we've got a brilliant guest lined up now next week, and it all ties into everything that we're doing here. But unlike previous episodes, we're going to get some footage sort of in the lead up to the podcast,
yeah.
because we're doing it down at the club.
So we're like that. We're recording next week, but it's not going to be out until the following week.
Yeah,
It's one of those.
it's one of those
front loaded.
Yeah, but also because we have to kind of work within other people's time scales, and
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, you can't ask someone to come on the podcast and then be like, "Oh, well, this is when we're free, so you do it."
Yeah. Exactly. So we're trying to marry that up with what we're doing here. So take next week, for example, we're going to record a standard episode next Wednesday, have that released for Friday. We're recording the guest episode on the Friday to release that then the following week. So
yeah.
There'll be content from us every Friday as per usual, but
Keep an eye out for...
We're hoping to get to one, maybe two games across this bank holiday weekend.
Yeah, definitely. We've two potential that we can get out to this weekend, and we just have to we might have to move a couple of things for ourselves.
Yeah,
before we can commit to it, but we definitely have two where we've been in touch with people have been in touch with us, and we are hoping to get out to those games.
Yeah, like for us ourselves, we're trying to cover as many clubs, as many individuals within those clubs as we can, and get as much content as we can out there to our followers. So
yeah,
if you're listening and you aren't following us, it would help us out a great deal if you could get on across all our socials and onto YouTube as well. If you see any of our videos, if you like what you see, give it a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
And what I'd say as well, if you're seeing it and you're looking at it and you think, "Geez, this is good, but I'm liking this, but they could do this," let us know. Let us know.
Happy to take feedback.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of why we're here,
Absolutely. But yeah, good weekend.
Yeah, very good weekend.
All round, particularly for the podcast. And we're excited about what's coming up now the next couple of weeks. There's some really, really good guests that I'm looking forward to sitting down and
some good guests
having the chats with. So I think it's going to be some good content for our followers and our listeners.
We've got a few guests. Like, we've got guests lined up to probably, I'd say, the end of March, have we?
Yeah. It's kind of every couple of days now where we're having more and more interactions with people that we genuinely would love to get on the podcast and have those talks with. So
yeah,
again, it's just a case of what works for.
And actually, looking, obviously we know what we have coming up, but looking at the guests that we have lined up, there's actually a variety of guests, and what I mean by that is different things to talk about, different kind of areas that they'd be in football. I won't get into it too much now. We'll speak about that when we're closer to the time of releasing those episodes. But varied conversations from different people involved with different things in the game.
Yeah, it's not just going to be managers. It's not just going to be the heads of football. It's there's good variety in there. Like, we're hoping to sit down with referees, people sort of behind academies, maybe people in the more, I suppose,
inclusive side of things, people working with people with special needs in football, stuff like that.
We're hoping to do a big feature on that That's coming up in the next couple of weeks as well, and
that one might take a bit of teasing out actually in terms of what we need to do with that one, because we, as you say, we want to make that a feature. We don't want to just make that. We'll have the person on the podcast, but we kind of want to do a little bit more around that as well.
Yeah, that's gonna be, I suppose, one of our bigger projects.
Yeah,
and it's going to be available in a couple of different formats, but overall, it's going to be a much longer format. So it's a lot more in depth.
It'll be kind of different aspects of it. Like, you'll get the podcast and you'll get the person talking, but then you'll get the YouTube stuff, which will be something else altogether. So yeah, keep an eye out anyway. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, we don't want to tease too much, but we don't want to
leave you here thinking, they're doing nothing.
Exactly. We're very active behind the scenes, and we're going to be flooding the socials and the likes of Spotify and YouTube with a lot of content over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned.
Might still throw out the ones where it's just my face in front of the camera saying, "This guy's looking for a game."
Speaking of that, Dave, have you got anything going on over at AnyGames.ie?
No.
It's this weather.
It's the weather. Nobody's playing.
Football.
Nobody's.
And do you know what it is, Dave? I find myself now. A couple of weeks ago, I had said I wouldn't be into summer football. Keep things the way they are.
Oh yes.
I changed my mind.
Yeah.
I take it all back.
Well, if the last few weeks, and especially this week, is anything to go by,
it's been a disaster, Dave. The club the team rather that I coach, we haven't had a competitive game since the end of November. Now, obviously, you've got your Christmas break and everything in between that, but I mean, all the city council pitches and everything been called off, and we usually play on Sundays, and we managed to get a friendly for the Saturday night.
Yeah, you were saying that to me, alright.
So last Saturday we played a friendly, and I mean, the poor kids were drenched.
Yeah,
absolutely drenched. And I was kind of sitting there going, look, on one hand, you want to keep the lads moving, you want to keep them playing. There's no point training Tuesday and Thursday and not going to have your reward at the weekend, getting a game in. And look, the lads loved it, they enjoyed it.
Yeah,
but there's a bit of a trade-off there, and you're kind of saying to yourself almost, is it worth it bringing them out in this weather to get this game going?
Yeah, was it worth doing it? Like, the kids are kids, like, they'll always have enjoyed playing the game of ball, but it's the aftermath, isn't it?
Yeah, like, you don't want anyone missing school or
sick or whatever. Yeah,
sometimes it's not worth it. But thankfully now we've had no reports of anyone being sick, although we were down to train again this evening, and it was one of those, you're kind of looking out the window going, right, we'll make a call half an hour beforehand, and then the weather's fine, and then everybody arrives and the heavens open up again, and you're having to bring the lads inside and call the parents and say, look, it's not worth it. It's
become a big challenge now. Like, I suppose when something like this, you do rethink your stance on things, don't you, when you see games called off and training having to be cancelled, and
and as a coach, you're looking just to keep momentum. You want the lads to kind of have the reward of a game at the end of it, because they're putting the effort in and training, and that's what they're doing it for. It's the games is where they enjoy it most.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but this time of year, it's for everybody. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the video. I think I might have sent you of
Leicester Celtics.
Yeah,
I did. I mean, that's you wouldn't know that there was a field there.
No,
it was
just
like
a lake.
It just looked like a lake, overflowing.
Really bad.
Yeah, crazy.
So yeah, I think it's going to be like this for another couple of weeks yet before.
Yeah, well, I was just looking at the long range forecast, like, and it looks a bit grim. It
definitely does. I mean, we're sitting here now expecting a weather warning to kick in at about midnight.
Yeah.
So God knows. I mean, I think already a lot of the pitches have been called off. I know the South Dublin County Council have called off a lot of theirs. I don't know about Dublin City Council themselves.
What tends to happen there is a domino effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
You'll see one fall, and then all of a sudden they're cancelling, and all of a sudden you've got majority of the games gone for the weekend.
Yeah, we're lucky enough in that, although we're playing away the weekend, we're playing on an all-weather pitch. So for the moment, it's still going ahead. So
yeah, but even at times the weather can get bad enough that an all-weather would be called off as well.
Well, it's for the safety of the kids, like we just spoke about. There's no point in them, catching pneumonia.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's
that bad.
the weather's getting as bad as that, where all weather pitches are getting called off. As you say, rethink the stance on the old summer football.
Yeah.
You know.
But just in terms of the I suppose the website itself and people getting out and playing 5-a-side or 6-a-side. If you listen to this podcast and you might have a New Year's resolution to get fit or to get back out and get involved. If that's the case and you want to get out and you want to play a bit of football and you want to see if there's a game going in your area, head over to AnyGames.ie and
do head over there.
Post a message.
Do you know what? I actually did want to shout this one out, guys. It was on it previously from last week, but there was no uptake on it. So there is a couple of people up there in the Dundalk area looking to get involved with some 5-a-side, 7-a-side, or just a bit of football in general in Dundalk and the Drogheda area, whatever. So if anybody is in those areas, hook them up. And
if one of your New Year's resolutions is to get involved back in football, maybe it's a coaching capacity, whatever it might be, you can head over to the club section there as well. You can put up a post. And again, it
goes across all the socials, and you'll see my face pointing to your post in the background on the likes of TikTok, Instagram, and stuff like that.
Yeah, saying, if anybody can get you a game or a club, it's Dave. Dave and his face on TikTok. So we're going to turn our attention now to the Leinster Senior League and some of the results from last week. So I'll just read them out to you real quick, Dave, and we can kind of go into a bit of analysis on them and see where that leaves everybody in the league and going into this weekend then again. So Lucan beat UCD 5-1. Malahide beat Ballymun United 5-2. Moctus and Usher Celtic finished in a 2-2 draw. And then Kilbarrack beat Inchicore 2-1. So all top three teams coming away victorious and picking up another 3 points. So as it stands, Kilbarrack, having played 13 games, have 30 points and puts them top of the league, ahead of Lucan on 29 and Malahide on 29 also.
Very tight.
Now Lucan have played a game more than Malahide, but I mean, we spoke to John McLaren of Finglas United. They're back in league action tomorrow night and they're away at Wayside.
Okay.
Now they sit 5th and 6th respectively. They are level on points, 23 apiece, but Wayside have played a game more, so that seems to be set up for a
nice fixture.
Yeah, I mean,
I think John alluded to the fact that was going to be a tough one actually when we spoke to him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if either of those win, you're kind of up into 4th place and you're overtaking Tolka again. Tolka in the mix there. They're on 25, having played 14 games. So, as I said last week, we really picked a good time to begin covering the Leinster Senior League.
Because it's quite tight, isn't it? From from 4th down to probably 5th or 6th, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's again looking at Bangor Celtic and Francis, that if they get a bit of a run together themselves, they're right in the mix as well. I mean, there's nothing really.
They're playing each other this weekend.
Yeah, so we'll go into that now and take a look at some of the upcoming fixtures there now as well. Do you want to read us through the fixtures then for this weekend, Dave?
Yeah, so I'm starting with Friday evening. We have Usher Celtic are at home to Malahide United, and then we have St. Moctus versus Colester, Donnycarney FC. Then we have Wayside Celtic versus Finglas United, as we just spoke about there. Then there's St. Francis versus Tolka Rovers, Inchicore Athletic versus UCD. UCD 2, am I right in saying that?
Yeah, it's UCD second team.
Yeah. I was wondering, was I looking at that properly? Then we move on to Sunday, where we have Bangor Celtic versus Kilbarrack United, and then there's Ballymun United versus Lucan United.
Yeah, so a couple of interesting fixtures there. I wouldn't they're not top of the table clashes, you would say.
No, but you would think the quality of the league, there's good games in there.
There's plenty of good games, and look, we're not going to be discriminating. We want to get out to every club's ground, cover every team between now and the end of the season. That's kind of,
if we could, that's kind of the goal,
the mission at the moment. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you're involved with any of those clubs and you'd like to have us out there, and if you have any managers or players that would like to speak to us, so pre or post match, get in touch and let us know, and we'll do our best to get out to you.
Yeah.
So just speaking of Lucan United, they're one of the founding clubs in this new National League, and a new segment of the podcast that we're looking to introduce is club profiles. And what better place to start than Lucan United?
Yeah.
What can you tell us, Dave?
So yeah, starting with Lucan then, Gav, this week. A club who were founded in 1969, and they play their football in Lucan, obviously in West Dublin. Their home ground is at Arley Heights in Dodsborough. If you care, they wear red and white stripes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sunderland.
Yeah.
Southampton.
So yeah, their roots like that, they trace back to the 1950s. They actually started as a club called Spa Rovers, but they became Lucan Celtic and so on. And they actually had a merger in 1968 and officially became Lucan United then. The current sort of scale and the structure of the club is a big setup. They've like over 600 members. They've fielded 37 squads across all levels. They've got one senior men's team, 2 under-19 development squads, 28 schoolboy teams, which is quite a lot actually, 6 schoolgirl teams, and a full academy age ranges 4 to 7 and upwards. The leagues they compete in are Leinster Senior League, Premier Division, Dublin and District Schoolboys League, Amateur Football League, and including the over 35s. Some recent achievements for the club are they won the Leinster Senior League Premier Division in 2024. With some cup successes as well in the LSL Metro Cup. Then recently they've had some player call-ups to the Leinster Senior League representative squad. And of course, probably most notably recently is they are now one of the founding members of the new National League.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's no surprise that the club itself is on a massive scale. I mean, the numbers that you listed off, they're very impressive. And of course, they would have having to meet the criteria to get into this league that we spoke about previously. I have to say, one of the standout things I found there was they've got 6 schoolgirl teams.
Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it?
That's good going for any club at the moment. And the guest that was due to come on this evening actually coaches a girls' team, and I did want to pick their brain on that. So that's something we'll discuss in more detail.
Back to that.
Yeah. That in itself is impressive because I think the percentage in terms of girls dropping out is quite high after a particular age. It's very hard to get them down. Obviously, for the most part, girls might be into other sports, and you've got GAA, you've got camogie, you've got dancing, and I don't want to sound too stereotypical, but generally football, from a girl's point of view, has to compete with that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, so.
It's like if you want to expand that and say, like, you look at soccer compared to GAA in Ireland, they're competing. And it's the same, as you say, for girls in the activities that they would generally fall into with the soccer.
Yeah, I'm not trying to, speak in generalities or, stereotype in any way at all. But it is, I mean, that's, the interest isn't always there. And if the interest is there, maybe
maintaining it.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking to get the numbers down. It's a numbers game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You have to have the interest there. And the fact that they've got 6 teams is very impressive. So
yeah, that is great. And as you say, as someone who my daughter was up at Rathout Harps there for a while, in a season where they were trying to establish a new girls team, which was like a tier down from their main girls team. But that was like, as you say, trying to get players out every week for the coaches was a nightmare. It was literally like 11 and a sub or 2 subs, and they'd have to pull from someone if they could, like from the other girls' team.
That's usually what happens. So because, as I said, it's a numbers game, you don't often get the numbers, and a lot of the girls that kind of stick with it end up playing for all the teams. And there's cup competitions and stuff that they can't partake in.
Yeah.
Because of that, there's a rule going into cup competitions where you can't bring girls up that are actually in your team.
Okay.
Or that are in your club, but in the younger age group, you can't actually bring them forward for cup games.
Oh, okay.
Fine to play in the league and make up the numbers, and
but not in the
they've
cup.
Made allowances, but for things like cup and stuff. So
that's fair enough, I think, though, isn't it?
It is, but it's not fair at the same time because you might have somebody who's that bit younger playing for the younger team, and all they want to
Mm.
do is play football,
Yeah,
and they
okay, yeah.
probably played every league game with that team all
Yeah, I
season.
suppose. I suppose in that sense, you're right. It's not fair. Do you know what I find mad? Like the Irish women's team actually play to quite a high standard.
Yeah.
They're quite good by the
Well, I mean,
standards of women's football.
yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of clubs out there that have a large number of girls teams, and they have the infrastructure there.
Yeah.
But what often happens is some of these girls won't be able to play for a local club because the numbers aren't there. So they
Mm.
might have to move to some of the other clubs that already have the infrastructure in
Yeah,
place. So
yeah, yeah. And it becomes a traveling
there's
thing then.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
I mean there's certainly ways around it, and um, it can be difficult to just in terms of generating numbers, but things like the Irish women's team, as you said, hopefully that's kind of an incentive or an advertisement in
Mm.
itself for
Yeah, yeah.
more girls to get involved in the game.
Yeah, and actually they should really probably try to push that a bit more. Like look at the Irish women's team and playing to the standard that they play. But
Yeah,
yeah.
because I'll often say it as well with my youngest lad. He plays under eights, and there's one girl on his team, and you'll often go up against other clubs, and they might have the same. They might have one, maybe two girls, and I'm not sure what age they cut that off. But
Mm.
I know, like, you know, let's say they get two more seasons, and that girl's allowed to play it on the team. It gets to a certain point where she has to go and find a girls' team and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
stick with other girls. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm.
it's it's kind of unfair in a lot of ways, but look, hopefully there's ways of improving that. And as I said, um, if we can get a guest on, maybe who can talk us through that a bit more detail, be good.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. Anyway, moving on to the Premier League portion of the podcast, and we can look back at last week's results. Gav, do you have them there?
I do indeed. So starting with last Saturday, you had West Ham against Sunderland.
Bit of a
And
shock.
bit of a shock, but
Mm.
also kind of in keeping with West Ham's form at the moment.
Yeah,
3-1 West Ham.
they're on a bit of a turnaround, aren't they? I mean, what's their? Yeah, yeah, like that 5 points away from safety, which is not that much. It's a couple of games, isn't it?
But it looked like they couldn't buy a win not too
No,
long ago.
no.
And
And we were heavily tipping them to go down.
yeah, I mean, it just looked like the bottom three was going to stay the bottom three, but they're certainly putting up a fight. And
They are now. Unfortunately for poor Wolves, they're just too far gone at this stage.
yeah, I think that'll stay where it is.
But you wouldn't want to put your house on it. Say from West Ham up to maybe Leeds, but then I mean it's 8 points between West Ham and say Palace. Then
Yeah, I mean, you would say Palace above are certainly safe.
yeah,
Leeds aren't far off. Nottingham Forest are picking up a bit of form. We'll go to their result now in a second.
Yeah.
So I suppose West Ham kind of need to continue doing what they're doing, but also hope that the teams above kind of pick up a couple of bad results or go on a bit of a bad run.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if you had offered them this position a few weeks ago, I think they probably would have took it because things were looking fairly grim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bad result for Sunderland, though, I think.
But what I'd say is in 2 weeks' time, Leeds and Forest play each other. So that's kind of a good one for West Ham. The likes of those playing against each other,
someone's dropping points.
Yeah, somebody's dropping points. Either both of them.
Yeah.
If it's a draw or whatever. But if they can keep going the way they're going, they're going to definitely give themselves a chance of dragging themselves out of the relegation zone.
Yeah.
Sunderland sort of comfortably mid-table. That they know themselves as well. Stadium of Light is where they pick up points.
Yeah.
It has been all season.
Yeah.
That's their fortress.
Well, they're pretty safe, aren't they?
Yeah, you'd imagine so. And they'll be happy. They get off to a really good start this season, and sitting relatively comfortable there in mid-table. I'd say they won't move too far from there anyway.
No, I don't think so.
We'll move on then to Burnley and Spurs. That ended in a 2-2 draw.
Yeah,
kind of Romero coming in to save the day for Spurs there, because
again, like Spurs, I won't laugh at them this week because I'm not in a position to laugh at anybody. But
No,
It
I'll do the laughing this week, Dave.
yeah, it is a poor result for Spurs though. But then I suppose if you look at the league table, they're I mean they're safe obviously, but they're down there again and around the hovering around where they were last season. You know,
Yeah, it's I don't like. I can't be the only one that's surprised Thomas Frank is still there.
no, uh, you know you would have to think that soon enough he's going to be gone. But then they're just going to bring someone else in, and they're going to be mediocre under that manager as well. Because I think, and I said I'm not going to laugh at them, and this is actually not the Arsenal fan in me talking.
Yeah.
They are a mediocre club.
Do,
Like,
do you think he's been unlucky in terms of injuries? Kulusevski, Madison.
how much of it can you put down to luck when you look at last season? It was the exact same under a different manager down there. And where are they? The
I think
15th
I
or
think the
16th?
points tally for Brentford this time last season under Frank was around the same. So is it that surprising? You could argue maybe this team's slightly better than the Brentford one of last season, but
Yeah,
also not really. It's
no. You'd have to say Spurs on paper should be a better team than Brentford now.
y-
I'm talking on paper and historically. Like,
yeah, you would say
bigger.
they're certainly a bigger club, and it comes with bigger pressures. And
Yeah.
I would have said at the beginning that Thomas Frank was the right man for the job. It seemed like a good fit,
I would have thought
a
so.
good
And
step,
to
good
be honest,
step up for him. I mean, he was highly regarded at Brentford, which he should be.
hmm,
They did well
yeah.
under him, and I don't know.
Maybe it's a case of sometimes managers at clubs like Brentford do such a good job with a team they're not expected to do a good job with, and get higher up the table finishes than they're supposed to, and clubs look at that and think maybe they're worth to go at the next level up for them, and it just doesn't work out. Or maybe it will work out from somewhere else in time, but this is like his first kind of big club, if you want to call Spurs a big club. I don't necessarily want to call them that, but
Do you think their European form is keeping them in the job?
probably because they actually doing okay in Europe. But that being said, all the English teams are doing well in Europe. Was it like the top 4 or 5 teams in the
Is
group or something like that?
I find it I find it interesting because we've spoken about it. I know pundits have certainly spoken about it, that the quality of the Premier League this year has been very poor.
Yeah,
And yet, on the other hand, all the teams in Europe are doing well.
yeah, exactly.
It's a bit
So
of a
I
bit of
don't.
an anomaly there.
I just think the style of football has changed in the Premier League, and I think that's why it's been called a poor league. Because week in week out, I know from my perspective, looking at Arsenal, and Arsenal are not the most exciting team to watch. When they're on form, they control a game, they knock it about a million passes before they try and make a breakthrough. But for me, week in week out, Arsenal are facing a low block. Doesn't matter who we're playing, except for United this weekend. Didn't really line out like that. But so from my perspective, watching Arsenal games, I'm watching teams sit deep, sit in, kill games, and look for the counter. And I've seen City play like that this season. You know,
I've seen. I don't know if you've seen the interview with Anthony Gordon.
no,
He was asked about it, because obviously Newcastle are faring fairly well in Europe, and he was saying in Europe they get the ball down and they play,
hmm.
where the Premier League has gone back to set pieces, it's gone back to throw ins, as
Yeah,
you said, the likes of a low block. So, do you think that, like, what's the cause of the Premier League being so poor this season? Is it a case that it's overly tactical to the point where teams are cancelling each other out, or it's taken away from games from a like spectator's point of view, that we're looking at games and going that, like I spoke about it a couple of times now, that Arsenal Liverpool game a couple of weeks ago,
worst game of the season.
Worst game of the season.
Yeah,
Are both teams going out not to lose?
I think initially it's probably the case. And the owner should always obviously be on the home team to go and try and at least win a game. Do you know what I mean? I think Arteta has been criticised in the past for approaching big games in a just don't lose kind of manner.
Yeah.
I don't know if that necessarily was the case against Liverpool, but that was just a terrible. I don't know. That game was a terrible game. Like we spoke about it already, so I don't want to go back over it. But I think you're right. You said there about tactical, like overly tactical, and the game is analysed to within an inch of its fucking life these days in the Premier League. And I think, do you know what? And like, I sort of still like Arteta and whatever, but managers like him and Pep are actually part of the problem. Do you know, in terms of breaking every little fucking aspect of the game down and making it into this analytical battle, basically.
Overcomplicating it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's I think I think it's across the board. It's all 20 teams are responsible. They're going
Well,
out,
yeah,
and as you said, the amount of analysis and preparation that goes into every game. But it just feels for me like the mentality has shifted, and it's more about nullifying the opposition
hmm
rather than implementing your own style and implementing your own game plan.
yeah. Well, that's. Do you know what? It's relatively new now in so much as everybody seems to be doing it. It's not a new phenomenon though.
No,
Like
it's not.
it's
But
been going on forever. But usually it used to be the territory of a big Sam
yeah,
lining out a Bolton team to like get a result against a Liverpool, United,
yeah,
Arsenal,
put
whatever.
everybody behind the ball, and as
Yeah,
soon
yeah,
as you get it, hit the big man.
yeah. But it seems like everybody now is just playing like a Jose Mourinho Chelsea.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's it's boring at times. Um, would I take it if it wins us the league? Absolutely.
What do you make of Paul Scholes' comments that Arsenal could be potentially the worst team to win the Premier League?
I think it's hyperbolic, to be honest. I think it's meant for clicks. It's meant for views. It's not true. First of all, first thought that comes to my mind is the Man United team that won the league for Ferguson in his last season wasn't necessarily a great team. That
Big name, some big names.
some big names in it, but
I mean, we bought Van Persie and he won us the
he
league.
won us the league that year. I don't know.
Does that just not sit well with you because he was a former Arsenal player and then you had to give us the guard of honour coming out for
no,
that last game?
no. I mean, it was a bitter season, obviously, but that's a
I'll,
difficult
I'll,
thing
I'll,
because
I'll break down Scholes' comments, right? So just to elaborate on that. So if you look at your goal scorers,
Hmm.
they're few and far between. I think
yeah,
sitting in third place is own goals.
yeah. No, I think it might be up there near the top after corners.
Yeah,
You know, like
right. So, but I'm talking if you put your top goal scorer, I don't know who it is at the moment. Maybe Declan Rice, but no, Trossard. I think is
I
your
think it
top.
might be Trossard.
Trossard, let's say, is your top scorer. Let's say he has 5, and then you've got a couple of people on 4. Saka, who everybody says is your most creative player and your most threatening player. Got 1 goal all season.
Yeah, I might maybe we'll come back. We're talking about Arsenal, but maybe we'll just come back to them when we
I
get
do.
to
Sorry, I'm drifting off. I'm just
yeah.
using Arsenal as an example.
As to what you were sort of talking about, what Paul Scholes had said.
What Paul Scholes had
Yeah.
said. So
Now, to be honest with you, I literally saw the quote.
it's
I
very,
never
but
actually,
that's the thing. If you elaborate it, I think his point is the number of goals scored. Like you don't have a world class striker. It's not like when City won it and Haaland scoring nearly 40 goals a season.
yeah, yeah.
You know, it's not goals coming in left and right.
No,
Most of your stuff is set pieces, own goals, as you said. So on paper, stats wise,
I get what he's saying in that sense.
that's
you
what
know.
he's saying.
But look, like I said, I literally only saw the quotes.
But you don't care as long as you win it.
Yeah, but we'll get to it because we'll get to it when we get to the Arsenal United game. Unfortunately, we have to get to that one.
So moving on then from Burnley and Spurs, we're looking at Fulham and Brighton.
Yep.
Fulham with a 2-1 win there.
That's one of those games. Home team wins it. No big surprise.
Can I just say, Harry Wilson,
Hmm.
he is doing an absolute madness this season. Like an absolute madness.
Yeah. What's he on?
The fella only scores the last minute worldies. That's all
Yeah.
he's capable of. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's probably on about 8 or 9 this season, but every single one of them,
Has been a
like he doesn't get
belter,
normal
like.
goals.
No.
I think what we might do for one of the next of our sort of just our episodes when it's just the two of us is that we'll do something like a Premier League rundown, and we'll probably name our standout players from each team.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, actually. We'll
Maybe
have a
do
little
something
think
like
about
that
before the
because
next episode.
I can tell you right now, I'm putting Harry Wilson in there for Fulham.
For Fulham, yeah.
He is on a madness. He's just having one of them seasons.
Yeah. Next up,
then we have got Man City and Wolves.
no big shock here, other than the fact that it probably didn't end the higher scoreline.
I think City just didn't come out second half.
No, it's possible. I just want to actually say there on Anton Semenyo, is that his third or fourth now since going there?
Yeah, but I think that was his first league goal.
Oh, is it?
That's his first league goal because the other ones were in cups.
Still though, can't argue with it, can you?
No, and City fans will be happy to see Marmoush back as well.
Yeah,
and back on the score sheet. I think they've missed him. I think if you can find a way to get Doku and Marmoush in the team at the same time, you're giving defenders problems.
Yeah. This is part of my concern now. I actually am concerned now City are going to go on that run.
I still don't see it looking at them though, Dave.
Do you know?
They don't put that fear into teams anymore.
Yeah.
They still look disjointed. They still look like you can get at them now. Mark Gay came into the team and he did sort of
shore them up a bit.
He looked like he'd been playing there for years. You know, he just
that's
slotted in there. He's got a very,
isn't it?
Yeah, he's a good quality player. He just slotted in there nicely, and I think although Semenyo was on the score sheet, I would still be adamant that Mark Gay will have more of an impact in that City team because, like I said,
you could be right.
If you don't play Semenyo, you've got a fifth
Marmoush
and Doku, you're not missing anything. But because they've got so many injuries defensively, to be able to put Mark Gay in there and look so comfortable in that position straight off the bat, I think in time.
Sure, it's just City's MO, isn't it? Oh, we've got injuries. Let's spend a few million on a fucking number one player, starting player as a backup.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, just reinforcements.
Yeah,
and as we touched on last week, I think a lot of it has to do with potential charges coming down the line and the implications that might have in terms of
quite possibly
transfer windows being blocked and that sort of thing. So see how that develops. But the final game then on Saturday was Bournemouth 3, Liverpool 2.
Yeah, fair play to Bournemouth, and it's kind of reverse of the fixture back at Anfield early in the season when Liverpool scored the late winner.
That was the
3-2.
Is that Mo Salah scored that late?
I think it was.
That was early in the season, was it?
Yeah, I remember it. I remember that game. I forget where it was. I was somewhere. I was away anyway. I remember being away and seeing that. But yeah, not a bad result for Liverpool. I don't think Slot's gonna be there next season.
No. Again, another one maybe that is being kept because of the European form, maybe.
Probably, but other than as well, why sack him now?
See, the thing is, right, you would have said because he won the league in his fourth season that he would be given time.
Yeah.
You know, but there seems to be among Liverpool fans, not all of them now, but a good portion of them, where they're kind of going, look, we're after bringing on all these top players and he can't make it work.
Yeah.
There's something not right there. And then you've got the Diogo Jota thing, which we've spoken about before.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You know, you don't know the extent of the effects that something like that might have. So
I don't want to sound insensitive about the Diogo Jota thing.
Yeah.
But people lose people in their lives.
Yeah.
And we all pick ourselves up and we all go back to work. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that's still having an impact. Obviously, I'd say it had an impact on the start of their season early on.
But this is the thing, because it might have been affecting them at the start of the season, and because sometimes when you get in that run of bad form, it can spiral, and maybe that's what's happening now, and they're just struggling to get back out of that.
Yeah, maybe. And like I said, not to throw Jota's name in there and be insensitive.
I understand exactly where you're coming from in that. It's at what point, not that you move on, but that you go, right, well, look, at the same time, we do have a job to do. And, is it not better in his name to go on and he doesn't want us playing crap. He'd rather us get the heads down and
Yeah.
figure out a way to get through this. Like
On a footballing level, they're missing his quality as a player. Like he was. I always actually liked him as a player. To be fair, he was someone that maybe didn't start every game, but he was an impact player, proper impact player.
The level of intensity was always there.
Yeah,
he never found it in.
I'd love to score against Arsenal as well.
Yeah,
Did like it though.
He was. Yeah, he was good. He was different. He was definitely. There was some games that just suited him.
Yeah, like I said, he was just that player who you would love. I'd say a manager loves to have him on the bench.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, really high tempo, high energy player.
Anyway.
But yeah, look, crazy 95th minute winner there for Bournemouth, but certainly as United fan, they definitely did us a favour the weekend.
They did indeed. Yeah.
Forest and Brentford then on Sunday.
2-0 Forest. That's a good result actually for them away from home.
Yeah,
especially a team in their circumstances,
Yeah, I mean, the Cruz on the score sheet, Igor Jesus, the Cruz, and he seems to be coming into a bit of form. And I think if you're a team that's, dancing around the bottom half of the table,
or in the relegation zone,
yeah, if you're close, you need a striker.
Yeah,
you need somebody who's going to put the ball in the back of the net. Above everything else, you can be difficult to break down. You can throw all the bodies behind all you want, but you need somebody at the other end of the pitch to put the ball in the net and give you half a chance.
Exactly. Yeah, like Forest needs someone to win them points, and with him coming into a bit of form, and the fact that Sean Dyche is pretty good at setting up his teams to, again, we talk about it, stifle other teams. If he can do that and then get Jesus scoring up the other end of the field, you'd probably say Forest would be favourites to finish ahead of West Ham.
Yeah, I would say so. And I think having Sean Dyche there as well,
yeah, he
gives them that bit of an edge. He's done it before. He's experienced.
He's walked that road more than once, So.
Yeah, and he's loving that job.
Oh, I'd say so.
He is loving that job at the moment, and you can see it from the players as well, especially the game changers, playing with a bit of freedom as well. I mean, obviously structured defensively, but they're allowed to kind of be a bit more creative than some of the teams. So
yeah,
really good to see. Moving on then to Chelsea Palace.
Yeah, Chelsea 3-1.
Yeah.
I think we probably gave that one to Chelsea last week, did we, when we were talking about it?
Yeah, I think so. Estevao looks like a serious player.
Does, doesn't he?
Serious player.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be the new poster boy at Chelsea. I think they might already have it in the back of the head that they're going to lose Cole Palmer.
Yeah, there's serious rumblings about that.
Serious,
this week, isn't it?
It's getting it's gathering a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
A lot of momentum. And
where are they saying he's going? Oh well,
to United.
To United. Yeah.
He's a United fan. Apparently, he wants to move back to Manchester.
Yeah. Great signing for yourselves if that happens.
United are kind of opening the door to talks with Bruno to see what Bruno wants to do.
Okay.
And I think the Ineos plan is to have a kind of an all English midfield.
Oh, really?
So they're looking at bringing in Elliot Anderson from Forest, and they're looking at bringing in Cole Palmer, and then obviously having Kobe Mainoo in there as well. So this is kind of the Bruno Casemiro replacement. So
well, look,
Cole
I think
Palmer's pretty high on the list now.
The only thing
I would say about about Cole Palmer is he seems to be affected a lot with injuries lately.
Yeah.
And you'd be worried if he's nearly going to be another Mason Mount.
Yeah, if it's going to end up being a problem for him.
Because Mason Mount's been at the club 2-3 years now.
Yeah.
Since we got him. And hasn't played a full season.
The other thing is
similar style player, sort of plays that number 10 role, very creative.
He's going to be on the World Cup as well. So he's not going to have much of a break in the summer either.
No.
So, and I'd imagine he'll be in in the starting lineup for that team.
Yeah.
Not that should play too much of a role in it, but it does. You've seen players get injured at World Cups or coming back from a World Cup and not being 100%.
Yeah, it kind of they get obviously a lot less of a break. But I mean, look at Cole Palmer form is frightening. Top quality player.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really rate him.
Yeah.
Terrific season. Last couple of seasons probably been Chelsea's standout player over the last couple of seasons. I would say, 100% take him at United. That'd be my only concern. Would be the
injuries,
the injury side of things, and if you can stay fit. But yeah, good win for Chelsea. Sort of keeps them high up the table. And the next one, which I was kind of saying, I was expecting to be a good game, which it kind of turned out to be. I don't know if you've seen it yourself, but
No.
Newcastle and Villa coming away 2-0 there. Looking at this game, I think it could have went either way.
Really?
I think both teams created really good chances. It's just Villa put them away.
Yeah,
that was the only difference.
Yeah, sometimes that's just it. It's they say the fine margins, don't they? And
I would be worried about Newcastle in the fact that they're not putting away chances. Wissett doesn't look like he's clicked yet. If you think about how good he was over the last couple of seasons, but Brentford hasn't really clicked yet. You'd wonder where the goals come from. I mean, they've got a lot of creative midfielders, like the likes of Gordon, Barnes. You've got, Bruno Guimaraes can pop up with a goal.
They've got some really good players at the club.
Yeah, like Tonali came close as well. Had a decent opportunity, but you're not looking going like when they had Isak. Like Voltemada kind of started off relatively decent, but
drifted off.
He's kind of drifted, and he's not really doing much now. He's kind of just a big man up top.
Looking like they're firmly kind of embedded in that mid-table spot now, aren't they?
Yeah,
Newcastle.
I mean, the difference between those is really the likes of an Ollie Watkins, because although we only got one goal in that game, he had plenty of chances.
Yeah,
and as long as you're getting multiple chances, your goal will come.
A word on Villa, they just won't go away, will they?
Like, they're not messing around at the moment.
From an Arsenal fan perspective, like Villa just won't drop off.
No.
And you're kind of thinking, I was kind of thinking that it's coming, the drop off will happen, and it still might, but I don't see it. Maybe if they go further in, are they in the Conference League or the Europa League?
They're in the Europa.
They're in the Europa. Maybe if they push on a little bit in that's when they'll start to...
See, being a United fan, Dave, I don't have too much interest in European football until it gets to the latter stages.
This is true. You will next season, though.
Yeah.
Oh,
fingers crossed. We can.
Speaking of United, we may as well get into this.
Are we moving on, Dave? Have we delayed it long enough?
We have.
We've done our best to bring it back to United and Arsenal so far.
Yeah.
Now we're actually going to talk about
it.
Right.
Well,
give us your breakdown, Dave. Where's your head at with this one?
United were good in the game. Came at Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? Played some really good football. Arsenal started the game really well, actually. For the first 20 minutes, up until the goal, I was watching that game thinking there's only going to be one winner in this game, because Arsenal looked on it. They looked on it. Then they scored, and someone turned off the fucking tap, and Arsenal just decided to stop playing. Zubamendi with a fucking brain fart hands United back the game. And that's just not the first time in the last couple of weeks that one of our players has handed the game back to the other team. We had Gabriel do it a couple of weeks ago with a fucking horror show pass. Forget who that was against to allow. Who was that against? Can't remember. Anyway, gave away a goal. Anyway, stupid passes. I'm pissed off at Arsenal. Like really, really pissed off watching Arsenal.
What do you put that down to? Is that just the mentality within the players? Is that instructions from the manager? Is that our fear? Are they going, right, we got our goal, like, let's play it safe now?
I don't know where it comes from. Like, look, Zubamendi gives that goal away, and it basically hands momentum to United, and I think that handed momentum to United for the rest of the game. It looked like the better team for the whole game from that point on. Arsenal didn't look capable of anything for the rest of the game. Now, we conceded two worldies, you know what I mean? although I do take issue with the third goal. I think Gabriel was actually poor for the third goal. He didn't close it down. He just stood there and tried to put himself in the way. But I mean, the strike is unbelievable. I just don't really have much to say about Arsenal because I was actually disgusted in the performance watching it. Do you know what I mean? We've actually been terrible. We've been terrible since December, and we've been getting away with it. To be quite honest.
Well, that's 3 draws and a defeat in the last 3 games. Am I right in saying that? Two draws,
0-0
1 defeat.
Liverpool, 0-0 Forest, 3-2 against United. I think that's it.
Because I think he's won the game before that one.
The game before the Liverpool game. I think we won that.
Yeah.
And then was that the Villa game actually?
Might have been the Villa game, was it?
I can't remember, but no, we look a bit horrible at the minute. To be honest, we look completely devoid of creativity and ideas. I think Odegaard needs to come out with a team. I don't think he's effective in there. But then who do you put in? Maybe Kai Havertz now. Put him in that little.
Is he back fit now?
Position. He played last night in the Champions League. I think he played most of the game. You know, look, I may as well put him in there because I don't know what else you do.
I would say for the most part your breakdown there is pretty spot on. What I would say is, yeah, absolutely. First 20 minutes.
I do want to say all that. That's not to take away from United, actually, who were very good in the game.
Yeah.
You know.
But I would be aligned with you so far as to say Arsenal were a much better team up until the point you scored. Absolutely. Then you allowed United to get back into the game. But there's a severe drop off in intensity. And it's like Arsenal revert back to type.
Yeah.
Once they go 1-0 up.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't feel the need to chase the game anymore.
No.
So it's all possession. It's all.
I wonder if there's an arrogance in that.
It's all, possession based, control the game, walk down the clock. No, I'm not talking about running into the corner and wasting time and all this sort of stuff, but just control the game.
Yeah.
And if we have the ball, they can't score. That sort of mentality, which is fine.
Which is fine, but you're playing against like Man United, who are fourth in the league.
Yeah.
No slouches this season. They're not the Man United of last season. Yeah. Especially in the last couple of games. And as I said there, I think maybe there could be an element of arrogance about that. It's like, we've got our lead, we're the best defense in the league. We'll close this out. I don't know. To
me, what it looked like, even when you were going forward, is that they had the reins on, that they were afraid to commit too many bodies forward because they were afraid that United were going to do what they did to City the week previous.
Yeah.
They were kind of going, right, we're going to nullify their counter-attack by leaving 4 at the back, or leaving 2 holding midfielders or whatever it was, so that we have a structure in place that they're not just going to break. But United kind of did it anyway.
Yeah.
But it was more just that they didn't go, right, 1-0 up, let's get another one, let's kill this game off now. It's kind of going, right, okay, we'll see out the game now.
Yeah.
And you spoke there about Zubamendi's error. I was actually watching Match of the Day and looking at the kind of tactical breakdown and analysis of that. He was kind of pushed into that position, into that fault, because of the lack of movement in midfield. Like the likes of, I think it was Odegaard who was central at that stage, and he was just too far away, and he didn't show, and he didn't make himself available, and he's kind of running backwards as he's trying to pass it at the same time. Difficult skill to do.
Yeah.
Look, you still have to press and they have to cause it, but if you're going to control possession, you need constant people moving off the ball and providing options.
Yeah.
And giving Zubamendi a way out there, and ultimately United capitalised. And it was the same with when you were saying Gabriel was poor for Cunha's goal at the end. It was actually Sesko ran across Gabriel, and for a split second, Gabriel thought about following him. He was kind of going, is he covered? Is that run covered? Do we move or do we go to Cunha? And to be honest, Arsenal were poor in the fact that they let United play rondos
Yeah.
and let Cooney play out there.
Like I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, where's Declan Rice?
Yeah,
Where is he in that moment?
there was there was literally Bruno. I can't remember who it was. It was Bruno, someone else, and
Ahmad,
Cunha.
there was a pass on to Ahmad in that as well, I think.
So it could have been Ahmad, Bruno, Cunha, or maybe it was Mainu, and little triangle going, basic stuff.
Mm.
I think 3 or 4 Arsenal players found out, and Cunha just broke away, and there was such a gap for Gabriel to cover, and he had Sesko making that run at the same time. He's kind of caught between two minds there.
Yeah.
Slightly poor, yes, but I think the damage was done before that.
Mm.
And Cunha from that distance still has to put the ball away, and he did. And
He did.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Dorgu one as well was fantastic strike. Dorgy best, as they call them.
Look, they were two absolute belters of goals in that game.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like, and credit to United, they were good. They were good again.
Up for the Ballon Dorgu.
Nice.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
These are, I'm not going to say I'm original with these. I've been pulling these off the internet all week.
What's your perspective from the United side?
Yeah, we definitely didn't look as sort of free flowing as we did against City, I don't think. But I'll go back to how Arsenal set up. I think where City were going after it and they were committing bodies, and that's why we were able to break so well against them. I think Arsenal kind of didn't have that conviction going forward because they were trying to nullify the counter at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's why I think United weren't as free flowing. But I think outside of set pieces, United didn't seem like they were in trouble. And I think one of the most satisfying things for me as United fans, kind of watching how solid we are defensively.
Yeah.
Even the likes of Diogo Dalot. I mean, I've always kind of had a soft spot for Dalot because even when I'm over in Old Trafford, you might be sitting in the football hotel, hotel football, and there'd be kids running in, and they'd be like, "Oh, only Dalot signed it. Nobody else would sign it."
Okay, right.
And you always get that impression that he loves being at the club. He gives everything. It might not always be great, but he leaves everything out on the pitch. He's prone to a couple of mistakes. He's not the finished article by any means, but throughout his time at United, he's been a consummate professional and loves being part of the club. So I've always kind of had a soft spot for him, even when he hasn't been playing well. But in this system of the back four, he just looks comfortable again.
Yeah,
and he's enjoying his football again. And having Harry Maguire back in the squad, even Luke Shaw getting forward now, he's able to go on the overlap. He's able to get involved in attacks, and just looking solid. And like across the board, I just think we just look more of a collective.
Yeah.
Rather than a bunch of
looking very
kids
positive
out of the schoolyard chasing the ball.
Looking very positive. I think as if you're as a United fan yourself, you're probably just hoping now you just don't do that thing of 2 big results, beat the big teams, and then I think is it playing Fulham this weekend?
Well, I said this to you last week. I did say this to you last week. Yeah, we do have Fulham next weekend. I did say this to you last week where the test will be when other teams are setting up to counter us.
Yeah.
Can we break them down? Do we have enough to break them down? And if I don't know if Carrick adjusts for that, or I'm sure like he definitely seems to be a competent coach. He's 5 games in as interim of United. This term he's obviously had 2, but he's had 3 games previous to that.
Yeah.
And he hasn't lost yet. And they've all been against big teams: Villarreal, Arsenal twice, Man City. He's picked up results. Aston Villa, he's picked up results against all of them. So
I'll ask you then, if he goes on this great run between now and the end of the season, United finish 4th, maybe even 3rd. You never know. You don't know.
Yeah.
Do you keep him in the job?
I don't see why not. I don't see why he wouldn't be in the conversation.
I think he would have to be.
There's a lot of talk about the scars still being there from what happened with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I can understand that to a certain degree, but that wasn't Ineos.
Mm.
That was Ed Woodward and crew.
Yeah.
That was sort of a different time. It wasn't all that long ago, of course not. But
I actually think Ollie was unlucky, to be honest, to be there at that time.
yeah, I mean, what he did, like, I mean, he got us into second and didn't win any cups, but like we had some big nights. We went out, beat PSG.
Yep.
I mean, there was some really good moments, and for the most part, we played what everybody's talking about at the moment, which is Man United football.
Yeah.
We went out and we went at teams, and
sometimes that's what you want, isn't it? Actually, just listening
like
to the Arse blog, Arsecast again. They were talking on that about, well, the co-host on it, he was talking about looking at Arsenal and saying that, like, although things are great and we get good results and we're playing well and the team's been turned around, he misses the Arsenal DNA.
You want to be entertained.
Yeah,
you want to be entertained. We watch it because we have this love and affiliation for whatever club we might be following, and it's always going to be a roller coaster. You're not going to go out and beat everybody every week and play brilliant football.
No,
of course not.
I suppose.
But but to say to me, although even as I'm saying this out loud, I'm probably contradicting myself, because I was going to say, if you say to me, would you take the league playing shit, or would you love United doing well and just getting Champions League football, like actually playing really good football?
You want the titles.
You do want the titles, Dave. So it probably goes back to your thing where you're saying, I don't care, just once we win. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if we score nothing but just set pieces for the rest of the season, as long as we're top of the league at the end of it.
That's all that'll matter. Well, one final word on Arsenal then, before we move on from this game, I suppose. Arteta said something in his press conference that I think it was in the press conference for the Champions League game, but I think he was asked about the United game. But I wonder if this alludes to something that's going on at Arsenal and the reason why performances have been poor and whatever. He said there's 4 months left and we're going to enjoy them. We're going to just play our football and enjoy. Now I wonder if there's an element of fear, or if there's an element of uptight. If you look at Arsenal, right, we're top of the Champions League phase, winning 8 games in a row, scoring for fun. You take it to the Premier League, and all of a sudden everything tightens up. Like the sphincter closes.
Are you buying that from Arteta?
I don't know.
Are you buying the bullshit that he's selling there? Because I can tell you now, that's absolute bullshit. That you've seen the documentaries behind the scenes at Arsenal. You see how intense he is.
Yeah.
All he's doing there is deflecting.
Yeah,
he's trying to deflect and try to create this.
I do think that, but I just wonder if it's just a little window into what's going on there. There's a difference in the way we're playing in the league to the way we're playing in the Champions League. It's more uptight. It's almost like they nearly don't fucking believe they're going to win the league. And I think you look at you have to look at the way they're playing, and you have to say there is something in that.
But nobody's playing great, Dave. No, and that's where you have to take the comfort. You have to go, okay, let's reset. Last 3 games didn't go our way. We've taken 2 points from 9 in the last 3. Okay.
Away to Leeds this weekend. I could see us not getting a result again. I'm telling you.
Well, maybe that's Arsenal's problem. That all the players are going in with your mentality, Dave.
Probably. But I'm not a player. They need to go in with the
but you're a fan.
Yeah.
And they're feeling the energy from the fans. Actually, they don't feel like the fans believe it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They feed off that energy, Dave. So if you don't...
They spoke about this actually on the Arsecast as well. About... It's a kind of like nearly a catch-22. Fans are entitled to have their anxieties.
Yeah.
But yes, in the stadium especially, that definitely feeds out onto the pitch.
It projects it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anyway, look, that's where I'll leave that.
Yeah, but what I would say is I would take what Arteta is saying with a pinch of salt, because of course he's going to protect his players. He's going to try create an atmosphere where, oh no, look, we're just enjoying our football and blah blah blah. But behind the scenes, he is pulling that Lego style hair out of his head, and he is probably like where I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about psychology or anything like it, but after that United game, if you're the Arsenal manager, you're probably going in there and going, right, lads, last couple of games didn't go our way, But guess what? If I had said to you at the start of the season, going into February, we're going to be 4 points clear, and the rest of the teams in the league aren't playing that great. You'd take my hand off.
I just hope that it's this is it now. This is the fucking kick in the arse. You know.
I think, I don't know how you feel, but I would imagine for Arsenal fans, if you don't win this year, this will hurt more than any of the rest of them.
Definitely, because this is a real chance. Now, we've had real chances, and we came close. The year we ran City right to the last day of the season, you know.
But that was a much better City.
It was a much better City.
And you're supposed to be a much better Arsenal.
Yeah.
You've got the illustrious number 9 that you were chasing at the time.
Yeah.
That was holding us back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Him, the better.
You've got Zuba-Mendy unleashing Declan Rice.
Yeah. Which doesn't seem to be happening. It just seems off. It just seems weird.
Yeah, it's
like we could sit here all night and talk about it. I think.
Cool. I'd love to talk about the demise of Arsenal.
We'll do a special episode on it.
Yeah.
There was one more game for the weekend. Yeah, it was.
There was
Everton at home to Leeds.
Yeah.
1-1. I don't think any real shock there. That's one of those draw.
No disrespect to fans of either of those teams, okay? But Monday night football should be sacred, okay? It should be sacred.
Yeah.
It should be only for the best fixtures of the week. Right? You can talk about Super Sundays and everything else. Super Sundays are great, okay? Love them. But hold a decent fixture back for Monday night, because Mondays are crap.
Yeah.
Starting
something
the week
to look
off,
forward to. Yeah.
You're in no humour, right? The weekend's over. What do you have to look forward to?
Bit of football.
Monday night football when you get back from the office. And they throw on Everton Leeds.
That ends 1-1. That's
the Premier League's bad enough as it is. We've spoken about it, but like, give me something.
I don't want to
give me something
here,
of a Monday evening.
I'm not going to sit here and say too much about Leeds because we're playing them this weekend. So I just, if I say something about them, they're going to come back and bite me on the arse.
Don't be passive, Dave. Now it's not the time to be passive. All right, you're top of the league.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, but if ever there was a draw, it's that Monday night football.
Yeah. So looking ahead then to match week 24, we're just going to fly through these fixtures for this weekend and have a little prediction as we go along. Starting on Saturday, we've got Brighton versus Everton.
Brighton at home. Then I'll give it to Brighton. I'm
going to go draw.
Okay.
Moving on then to Leeds Arsenal. You're after saying Leeds are going to win, didn't you?
I did. Do you know what? We won't win. You're going
to say a draw?
I'm going to say a draw.
That'll be 3 points in 12.
Yeah.
For Arsenal.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
And if that happens, you can nearly make a case that we don't fucking deserve to win the league. Anyway.
Yeah, I would say with Leeds as well, probably similar to Sunderland. And Ellen Road is huge for them.
It's a hard place to go to.
It is.
No, they're down there. They're down there, and they're just above that relegation scrap. But yeah, I just don't fancy us unless we can find some way to actually start scoring. Yeah,
I can see that being a draw, Dave. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
and that's going to open things right up.
Yeah.
Looking ahead then to Wolves and Bournemouth.
All right. I'm gonna.
That's at Molyneux as well.
I'm gonna do a curveball and say Wolves will get a win.
Okay. I mean, they're coming off the back of.
But they haven't lost in.
No, they have. They
lost
to Man City.
They lost to Man City. Sorry.
Well, before that though, they were on a bit of a run, all right.
Yeah. Run of draws, but
they had that one win in against West Ham.
Right. They all got a sneaky Wolves win.
Bournemouth coming off the high of beating Liverpool last week.
I'm
going to go Bournemouth.
Okay.
The halfway kickoff then is Chelsea and West Ham.
This is another one, and I said to you a couple of weeks ago, West Ham love to give it to Spurs, and they did. And I sort of look at this one in the same kind of manner.
Yeah, I mean, both of them coming in almost identical form. I'd say I'd just nudge it to Chelsea just for the fact that it's at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, I'm actually going to say a draw. I'm going to say a draw because it's a proper derby, that one.
Yeah. And then a classic fixture, one for the ages, Liverpool-Newcastle.
Liverpool at Anfield.
Anfield as well, yeah.
Newcastle not necessarily playing the best, but neither are Liverpool.
No.
I'll edge it for Liverpool.
I'm going to say Newcastle win though.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like a bit of an upset's going on there.
Right.
I know it's probably contradicts what I said earlier about
Yeah, but
Newcastle kind of not having the forward power up front, but
I suppose, like you said earlier, like you said just there, it's a classic fixture. It's a big fixture.
I think
Kind of form goes out the window
Yeah,
sometimes.
I can see Baltimore doing well against Canate and Van Dijk.
You could be right. I'll stick with it. I said Liverpool, so I'll go Liverpool.
And moving on to Sunday, then we've got Aston Villa and Brentford.
Villa. I can only see Villa.
Ooh,
Although
yeah.
they played Europa League tonight, didn't they?
Yeah, but
Not that should really play into it, but their squad is not the biggest. You know, eventually they're going to get tired.
yeah, no, it's go on. I'd say Villa as well. I think you're right there. United and Fulham, Old Trafford.
United.
Yeah,
You just have to.
it's gonna be an interesting one if we can continue playing.
Yeah.
The way we've been playing the last couple of weeks and break down Fulham. Fulham, I remember when we played them at Craven Cottage, they spoke about, I think it was Calvin Bassey was talking about how they knew they would just play over the midfield into that space in between. And that's not there anymore. So, look, Marco Silva again, great manager as well.
Yeah. I don't know. No, I'll tip you to continue your form.
You could just imagine that Old Trafford as well.
Yeah.
The place is going to be rocking.
Yeah.
I mean, we're coming off the back of a nice couple of weeks, so I'm gonna edge it to United. And next up, then we have Forest and Palace.
Forest. Gonna give it to Forest.
That screams a draw at me now.
Does it?
Yeah.
Just Forest at home. And they're fighting. They are fighting. And a win would be big for them. If Chelsea beat West Ham on the Saturday.
Crystal Palace just seem like they're in turmoil at the moment.
They do. Actually, to be honest, if Forest win that game, Palace are right in it. Right in it.
Yeah, like the mood is so bad there with everything that's happening with Glasner and Mark Gay leaving.
Yeah.
Mateta saying he's going as well.
But this is off the back of losing Eze at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not looking good for Palace, actually, is it?
No,
off the field, I mean.
How long does that rock continue then? Like, if they lose again this week, especially to the likes of Forest, who are kind of in and around that mix.
They're 3 points behind them, and Forest are just sitting off relegation.
Yeah, they're well and truly getting dragged into it then.
Yeah.
How long did he stick with Glasner? Like, if it feels like Glasner's just kind of hanging around to be paid out.
Is it his fault?
I think it is.
Do you?
I think it is because he's gone to a place like Crystal Palace where their MO is to sell the best players.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's always been that way.
Yeah.
The same with the likes of a Brighton. You've got teams within the Premier League that are essentially feeder clubs. They get, because they don't have a worldwide fan base, they don't generate a huge amount of revenue from ticket sales and jersey sales and all that sort of stuff. They rely on having good academies, blooding young talent and selling them.
Yeah,
when they become the best player in the team.
The business model, isn't it?
That's the business model. I mean, you have to know as a manager that that's what you're buying into.
True enough. Yeah.
So when somebody comes along after they've won the FA Cup
and buys their best player,
okay,
of course that happens.
You knew Mark Gay was going.
Yeah.
I probably would have thought he was going to go to Liverpool.
So, I suppose
he's gone.
I asked that question in more of a, like, is it his fault in terms of what he's getting out of the team? But I suppose what you're answering is more, it's his fault for getting himself into the situation in the first place.
No, but what I mean is, it's his fault. He's bringing such an air of negativity to that club now because he would have known Eze was getting sold. He would have known Palace aren't going to go out and spend loads of money.
Yeah,
it's not their MO. It's not what they do. So to come out then and go, oh, the board aren't backing me and they're not giving me the players that I want and they keep selling all these players. That's Crystal Palace. They're not doing that different.
Yeah, I suppose so.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
So, okay, it's tough, but that's what you signed up for. So don't come out in the media then and say that I've been promised this and I've been promised that, and we need to be replacing these players. And okay, Grant, but you've got 14 games left this season. Like, just concentrate on winning them. Don't be worrying about.
Don't worrying about the
Mateta has
what's
said
happened here and what's happened there. Like,
Mateta has come out and said he wants a new challenge. Well,
Great.
grand, but he's not going anywhere right
he's
now.
not leaving right now, so give him his new challenge at the end of the season.
Yeah, just say, put yourself right. I tell you what, you're here till the end of May. Put yourself in the shop window.
Yeah,
go out and play. So I think his whole demeanour sets the tone for what Palace are doing at the minute.
Yeah. Do you think
it's all his fault?
You were saying earlier on in the season that maybe Glasner was an option for United. Are you glad now that
100%?
Yeah.
I don't like that throwing your toys out of pram.
Yeah. Especially as a manager, it doesn't look good.
Blaming everybody else.
No.
Take some ownership. Put the head down.
Yeah.
Get the lads playing the game. Work with what you have.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Looking ahead then to Spurs against Man City.
This is a tricky one because you'd like to say Spurs would lose that game. You would think that Man City would beat them, but Spurs have been such a banana skin for City over the last few years that
this used to be a fixture that you'd go, that's a juicy one. I'd like to look at that one. Sit down and watch that. Even if you don't support either team, you're kind of going,
yeah,
that'd be worth watching. Not now.
No. Do you know what, actually? I'm actually thinking now, if we go ahead and lose to Leeds or don't win against Leeds on Saturday, you're going to look at all these fucking Spurs fans doing a Poznan again in the stadium because they're losing 2-0. Like, I mean, they're a pathetic fan base, sorry. Yeah.
Flip side of that, if you know you're after losing or you're after dropping points, you're going in there and you're hoping for a Spurs win.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if we win, I'm hoping for a Spurs win. I hope Spurs win that game.
Yeah.
Regardless.
But even more so, like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because.
But they won't. They won't. And their fans will be there dancing in the stands because they're losing, because Arsenal are getting their title hopes damaged.
What way do you see that one going?
I think City will win it.
I mean, yeah, you look at both teams' form, like with the exception of City beating Wolves last week. Like I said, they didn't show up second half, so
no,
it's not as if they're putting the fear into Tottenham rocking up there.
No,
that's true. The form in the lead up to that, handful of draws, but lost to United.
That being said, Tottenham are terrible.
Both sides are.
Yeah,
both sides are. Yeah, I'd say if anybody's going to win, you're probably right. I'd say it's going to be Man City.
Yeah, I'm just looking, Gav, ahead. You just spoke about coming home on a Monday night, sticking on the Monday night football.
They're on the wind up there, honest to God.
Sunderland at home to Burnley.
Look, again, no disrespect to fans of either of those teams, but
it's not a classic, is it?
You're not running home to stick that on.
No,
by any means.
Sunderland win anyway because they're at home.
Yeah, and I do to be fair, I do like how Sunderland play. Got a couple of good cracking players, but
I'm a fan of Granit Xhaka as well. I do like him.
Yeah. Is it the Sunderland centre half Ballard?
Yeah. Had a cracking game against Arsenal earlier in the season.
Quality player.
Brilliant.
Quality player.
Yeah.
Been impressed with him. So yeah, I'll sit down like I do with all the games if I can, and I'll watch it.
Yeah.
So just to finish off then on that one, Dave, what do you think that's going to finish?
Sunderland win.
Sunderland win?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go Sunderland win.
Yeah, I think so.
And that wraps us up for the Premier League for this week. And
that's it. We did it.
We did it.
We done another one.
Once again.
Yeah.
Episodes.
18
episodes in.
18 episodes in, yeah. And
we're doing all right.
18 episodes and some YouTube content.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plenty more where that came from.
More of that to come, yeah. I suppose that all that's left really for me to say then in this episode is thanks to everybody for listening, and the usual
share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell.
All of
Tell
that. Actually,
everybody.
I can't stress enough. Comment and like and share. All of that. It helps us out. It gets us. I know a lot of people listening and they enjoy it and whatever. It's like, yeah, that's great. But engage with the thing because it actually helps us get up on the algorithm, gets us spotted, it gets us up there, and it gets more listens for us, and it gets more people following, and it gets us
Allows us to put more content out then as well.
exactly. So as Gav said, like, share, follow, comment,
Hit the notification bell.
Tell
all your friends.
And thanks for listening. And like that, as always, head off to AnyGames.ie to get yourself involved with some five-a-side football, or if you're involved with clubs, head over there and get your comments up there. And as always, we shout them out on the socials.
Yeah, and if you see us out at any games,
AnyGames at AnyGames.
Feel free to come over and have a chat with us.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts on what we've been doing so far and things you'd like us to maybe look into, maybe add to the podcast, wherever it may be. As I said before, we welcome the feedback. So, yeah, don't be shy. Come over and say hello. More than happy to have that chat with anyone.
Yeah.
So, enjoy our weekend. Yep. And we'll see you again next week for a standard Gav and Dave episode next week. But after that, we're going to be firing them out.
Yeah, firing out the interviews. So thanks everybody for listening.
And talk to you next week. Come on.